In today's episode, we're revealing our secret formula on how to create the perfect social media ad.
And showing how you can implement it for your business.
NextWaveDV is the story of our journey growing Creative Edge Productions from a tiny studio in my basement to one of the leading video marketing agencies in the Midwest. So join us on our continuing mission of mastering video marketing.
Welcome back to the Mastering Video Marketing Podcast. I'm Tony Reale.
And I'm Ben Carlson.
And today, Ben.
Yes, Tony.
We are talking about our secret formula.
The secret sauce.
The secret stuff that,
boy.
maybe not so secret, but this is the methodology that we go in when we're creating ads. And we've done a lot of research into this.
Yeah.
Again, we've talked many times on the channel about how we transitioned from a video production company to a video marketing agency.
Right.
And one of the key aspects in doing that was to really determine, we need to make content that gets results for our customers.
Correct.
And so for us to, we want to look at the platforms and where the video is going to live. And that's the determining factor on what the creative is going to be.
Sure.
We don't want to sit back and be like, all right, we're just going to make a video. It's going to be a great video for you. It's going to look gorgeous, all that kind of stuff. And then shoehorn it into a platform.
Right.
And then go, well, why aren't we getting results?
Yeah, you also, I don't want to jump the gun, but you got to make sure you push the viral button.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. In the export. So if you go down in Premiere.
So here's the secret tip. Yeah.
But it is funny how some people want to hey, can we make a viral video? We'd like to make a viral video. And
Yeah.
It's as
too.
simple as that. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Wouldn't we all?
But I think this is what we found to get consistent results, and not just for us, not just for we've seen great results with our content, with our clients' content, but we've also studied proven methods across many different content creators, many different agencies, and so this is kind of what we've determined works the best.
Right, and so we're going to distill it down into a really simple formula that we follow along. Now, granted, there's a heck of a lot of work that goes into once we now have this base formula. So it's not just, hey, click this button and then you're good.
Yep.
But when you break down the video approach into this formula that we're going to go over, it's a great template, really, to decide how you're going to approach your ads, specifically, again, for social media ads. This is not going to necessarily work as a corporate video.
Sure.
Or other types of content, but this is going to work specifically for social media content. And so, again, when we typically approach a video for a video production client, so outside of the video marketing, social media advertising, stuff like that, a lot of times the question that we ask is, how do you want your audience to feel after watching this? We've been doing a ton of recruitment videos lately. We've had multiple projects for those. And so one of the key things in that is what are the things that we want to highlight? Are we wanting to create a video that's talking about the corporate culture, why the business would be a great place to work? Do we want to talk about more of what the employees get to be by working at that company? You're focusing specifically on the employee experience, not just the company experience.
Yeah.
Do we want to have it be fluffy and light and really sell the company really well? Or do we want it to be a little bit more, down and dirty and going over all the details of what that position entails and start to weed out some of the people that might not be the right fit?
Absolutely.
So all those decisions have to be made when you're making a corporate video. But when you're making a social media ad, the key things that you need to be focusing on first and foremost is the viewer habits on the platform. And the first thing that you'll notice almost all the time is that first 3 to 5 seconds is so important.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest mistake a lot of businesses make is undervaluing that first 3 to 5 seconds. They will go in and they'll be like, here's the whole video. And it's great or whatever like that. Once we get to that 10-second mark, now the story's really building up, and we're getting to a point of okay, this is really cool. So they want to build up to that moment. And the truth is, a lot of times you don't even get to that moment.
Yeah.
Most people viewerships fall off in that first 3 to 5 seconds. If you look at almost any ad that we've run, we will always notice that the first 3 to 5 seconds is where most of the views happen. And then at that point is where you decide, people will decide, do I feel like watching the rest of it?
Right.
And so overall, again, 90% of people are going to only see the first 3 to 5 seconds.
Yeah.
That's why on YouTube and stuff like that, those skippable ads, if you're running a Facebook ad, there's not necessarily a skip unless you're running like a midstream video or something like that. But if it's just kind of in feed or whatever, just because you don't have that skippable button doesn't mean that you can't treat it. You need to still treat it like there is a skip button.
I would say it's. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say the skip button is the swipe. You know.
Yeah. Well, I would say that's almost even more important because at least on YouTube you can't skip. You have to click. Wait the 5 seconds. Or if you're on Hulu or some of the other now where you can skip through the ads, but on Facebook, Instagram, the skip button is as fast as this.
Exactly.
In fact, that's the new Gen A. I just learned this is a new. I'm dating myself. I'm sorry, but you have to be grabbing their attention immediately to the point where it's not just, oh, I need to grab their attention. You have to stop them in their tracks with whatever they're doing. And whatever mindset they're in, you have to grab that attention. We have one client, when we're doing ideation, it doesn't matter how great the ad concept is or how great the organic content is. He's like, if we don't have a killer 3 to 5 seconds, we're not making the video.
Exactly.
He said it's not worth it. We're not going to waste our time and energy putting into all this whole big grand concept. If we can't hook him in the first 3 to 5, the video's pointless.
And those aren't even ads. That's just regular
That's just organic content.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, there are 3 main sections in the formula that we're going to talk about, and we break them down and we have an individual approach to each of them. So the first one is the hook. So that's that first 3 to 5 seconds. And we treat that kind of like the headline of an article where it's, the first, of your dollar on your ad spend, the 80% or 80 cents on that dollar, you should be focused on that headline, on that first 3 to 5 seconds, because again, you might never get the chance for those people to view any of the rest of your content. And the key thing with creating an engaging and interesting hook is you don't necessarily know what people are going to respond to. So when we create the hooks, notice I said plural, we don't typically go into a social media ad with just a single hook in mind.
Right.
Now, we might have someone that we favor and we're really excited about, but we can't use our own bias and say, all right, this is going to be the one. This is obviously going to be the one. We treat it in a way where there's a modularity to the ads that we create, and we're going to go through each of those sections today. But that first section, that first hook, we typically try to have 3, maybe 4 different hooks that we can then go into the ad platform after the ad is built and split test. And creating the ads in a modular format allows us to quickly swap those things and not completely destroy the narrative of the ad and make it look really weird. Yeah. So if you plan the ad creative in that process, then it makes it really easy to swap those things out.
Sure.
So
do you have any in mind, any that come to mind where you had like, oh, this one is gonna be it. Like this is but then when you do the A/B test, it was like, oh, I didn't. The out of left field, this one comes flying in and gets all the engagement. Do you have any of those?
Well, I mean, it's happened for us in multiple ads that we've run where it's, like we get really excited about a concept and then we'll just sometimes be like, well, okay, is this going to translate? Is this in that first 3 to 5 seconds? Are people going to understand it? And is it also the right message that people are going to respond to?
Sure.
A lot of times brands, we talk a lot about the unique value proposition that you want to be focusing on for your business. And a lot of times brands will think that their unique value proposition is this thing over here. And then you start split testing and you discover, actually, the thing people care about is this part of your brand over here. Yeah. You could, like look at the iPad or iPhone or, those products over the years and, did people buy the iPhone because it was a phone? Did they buy it because it could play music? Did they buy it for the App Store?
Yeah.
Everybody's unique in the thing that they need.
Right.
And so if you lead with one thing specifically thinking that that's what everybody cares about, you might completely alienate the part of the market, that the bigger percentage of the market.
Sure.
And then that's why we consider split testing a great place to discover it. So, and that's why a lot of times with the hooks, we will purposely try to go as far in different directions as we can and just see what people respond to. We did one for a spa one time, a nail salon, where we had one where it was we did one where the hook was just the main ad. We just went right into it. Here's the nail salon. Here's what it's like. And then we did another one where it was like a grungy nail salon and like this
tattoo parlor-esque.
And we knew that like a lot of people their hangups for spa or salons and nail salons was that they are not clean, that they don't do a
worried
good
about
job.
getting infection.
Exactly. So we kind of went to the extreme of that and kind of played a goofy, like, what if, this is, we're not like this, we're like this, and then juxtaposed it with the beauty of their location. Then we did one where a mom was just having a frustrating day. She's trying to do her nails, toys are flying across the room, kids are whining. Wouldn't it be nice if there was a place that I could go, not just to have my nails done, but to relax?
To get away from this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so we ran all of those, and we saw not just one performing better, but we also found like different viewer habits in the ones, like how people interacted with it, the different types of engagement. So you can't just look at the metrics and go, okay, well, this one had a higher conversion rate. We look and see like, okay, which ones were shared more, which ones were commented on more, which ones had longer view times, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And we found typically that the one that didn't have a hook where we went right into the ad, that one performed the least.
Yeah. Noticeably.
Right.
Noticeably, yeah.
And so having that time to, putting that effort into the hook just fundamentally allowed us to be able to know that like a hook is important.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, and that was another one where, it really determined, we had to look at what we actually wanted to achieve out of the ad campaign, because for that one, the grungy, gritty, that one got more engagement. It got more longer viewership. It got more shares. So if we were going for brand awareness, yeah, absolutely, that was a great one. But when it came to actual conversion and getting people to convert and actually make an actual purchasing decision, the mom struggling with everyday life was the one that resonated more and caused more bookings. So, and I'm glad we did, because we all thought the grungy, because that's the problem. That's when we were discussing with a client, discussing with market research.
And they're your UVP of what makes them unique.
And so we all thought it, but we thought, we'll give this one a shot, give it another try, and sure enough, that's the one that converted most.
Exactly. And so again, one of the advantages you may have seen some of our behind the scenes on our virtual production studio that we built, and we use our AR wall a lot for these because that allows us to kind of hammer out different ideas. So when we shot those different things, rather than going to a nail salon and trying to be like, hey, can we make your nail salon look grungy or whatever like that, which nobody's going to really want to do, or building a set, which would take way too much time and energy and just money for the one shot.
Right.
Instead, we used AI really to build the different backgrounds. We did in the same day, in like a 2-hour period, we had the grungy nail salon.
Yep.
And then we quickly switched over to the mom in her living room. And we were able to do that on the in the course of a couple hours.
We actually filmed one more that day too that didn't make the cut. But because it was so easy, it was like, we have the talent here, we have everything set up. Let's swap the background. Now we're going to do a cooking one. And once we got into it, we're like, no, we really like these. We'll A/B test. But having that virtual production really helped. What if someone doesn't have a virtual production background?
Well, you certainly could use a green screen, or just simply trying to figure out what is going to translate the best, because you have that 3 to 5 seconds. You need to have instantly. People need to understand what's happening right away.
Yeah.
And we talked after we split test and ran that ad. We thought, okay, maybe the grunge ad is not translating as well to people to know they're not sticking around long enough to see the juxtaposition.
Sure.
So again, that's why you split test. That's why you run the ads and see how well they work. Because again, you can make your hooks work within the tools that you have, the availability, the locations, all that kind of stuff. If we only had the location of the client, we would have come up with different hook ideas. Because we have these tools, this allows us to kind of push and again, it's not perfect. Our AR wall isn't like, oh my gosh, it looks exactly like you're there. There's a little bit of a false reality. The same thing you get when you do a green screen, but it's a social media ad, and people aren't necessarily there looking that closely for that 3 to 5 seconds. It translates, it gets to the point, and then we move on.
Yep.
So that's the hook. That's the first part of the formula that we talked about. And again, in the modularity, we want to create it in a way that we can have a bunch of different hooks that we can slot in. Also, from a hook standpoint, sometimes you can use another part of the ad. So again, going back to the UVP and going, okay, what is the thing that people are going to to care about most, you might build your ad in a format. So the next section that we're going to talk about is the body of the ad. And that usually has a more singular focus. We usually don't have multiple bodies unless we're going to be running multiple campaigns, but we'll have a main body of the ad that we work with. But we can still build that in a modular format. So we can have like this chunk of the ad talks about this UVP, or the key thing that we know that is a key selling point for this product or service. And then here's the number 2 and number 3. And one thing we can play around with is potentially swapping those as in the opening hook and letting the UVP be the hook and saying, okay, if it's a product about let's just say for us, a video production company, maybe our UVP is that we have really high-end camera equipment and we can shoot cinematic stuff. Yeah. Maybe our UVP is that we're friendly and our team is great to work with, easy to work with. And maybe another UVP is that we will create an incredibly successful ad campaign for you that will get results for your business. And then we could split test all 3 of those different UVPs and just kind of put one at the beginning and then the other one at the beginning and the other one, and just kind of rotate it around. And then you end up seeing, okay, well, this UVP is the thing that people stuck around and got the highest conversions. And then the rest of them still are there. They're still important factors. Yeah. But that, being able to use those as the different hooks and the different openings, you can then see, okay, what do people actually care about the most? Sure. And it helps you to understand. It's like having your own market research, team where you can be like, okay, what are people caring about? I mean, I know Alex Hormozi, when he released his most recent book, $100 Million Offers, let's see, it was Offers and Leads. Leads is the most recent one. And so he used he wanted like a magnet in the opening. He even split test the book cover with like a clip art style magnet versus like a photorealistic magnet. He split test, I think, sales and leads or something. He split tested the title of the book. He split test the typographic that he used in it. He split test a bunch of different things, and before he actually published the book, so he was able to see, realistic magnet performed better than fake magnet. And you can use that like as your own market research tool, and then before you release a product, you can be like, okay, this is performing best. This is going to be a thing. Because you can be a great graphic designer, you could be doing a lot of stuff, but again, the goal of any type of marketing is what converts the best, what people respond to the best.
And I wanted, this sounds so tedious. As we're going through it, was like, oh my gosh, you have to check all these things. What possible difference could that make? Just a couple more people. We're going after those fractions of percents. Yep. Because if you have 3 different hooks, a body, and 3 different endings, that's now 9 different ads. If we can say we can optimize 2% per ad, which 2% is nothing, but now we can say, all right, from the least productive one to the most productive one, that could be as much as 18% difference. Or even if it just stayed 2%, you do 2% over your lifetime of sales, you're still going to end up with more money. And it's still going to be beneficial in the end.
Exactly. Yeah, it's, that percentage game is worth the effort. Now, if you're doing a short-term campaign, if you're just being like, all right, we got this event coming up, we're going to run it for a week or 2, split testing, having multiple hooks. No, it's not that.
You're not going to, the algorithm isn't going to have time to find your audience.
Also, if you're in a local market where, you have under 200,000 people that are going to be seeing this ad, if you split test the ad too much, you might end up with ad fatigue. So this is typically for campaigns that are going to run for a long time in larger markets potentially, or even if it is a smaller market, try not doing too many split tests. Don't do like 3 or 4. Maybe just pare it down to 1 or 2, maybe 3. But again, don't expect to run that indefinitely. You want to get the results from the split test and then move right into the campaign because you don't want ad fatigue to settle in before you even had a chance to run the primary campaign. Right. And so as you're building the body, you want to have in there some of the key elements. And we could do a whole video about what the building a body, and we probably will. But
we should.
The key things that you want to do is to talk about your UVP, finding out what people are going to respond to the best of the key things that people care about, making sure that in your offer that you're doing a good job of stacking the value. We call it value stacking, and you want to, like a great example. And again, I think we'll probably do a whole video on value stacking eventually. A great example I heard from Russell Brunson from ClickFunnels, and he was talking about at a conference how. Would you pay $100 an hour for a babysitter?
No.
Probably not. But let's say, okay, what if the babysitter came in and they had their own, educational training for the kids that they walked them through? What if the babysitter came in and did all your dishes, did your laundry?
Take my money now. Yeah, you have me at dishes. I'm done. Yeah. Whatever you want to charge, I'll take it.
If they had like healthy snacks for the kids, like you start adding enough of this stuff in, and all of a sudden, $100 an hour sounds like a bargain.
Right.
So it's not that people won't spend the money; it's you haven't given them enough value to being willing to spend it.
Yeah.
So you have there's those two different ends on the spectrum is either the race to the bottom to be the cheapest, which is never good.
No.
You can only do that so long.
Yeah.
Or you can go to the race to the top to get away from being a commodity and start adding enough value to the services or product, the perceived value of the product that you offer, to then becoming a point where it's like, well, I want to get this product because it's the only thing that comes with this, and I really value that thing.
Right.
And sometimes that thing, that secondary thing to the product, the guarantee that you have, the how it works with something that I'm used to, that I value in my life.
Yeah.
Like there was some AR little clip-on thing that on Kickstarter years ago that like clipped on the side of your glasses and had like a little screen that popped out. And I was like, who would want this or whatever? And then all of a sudden they showed it, somebody using it on their camera while they were, they basically could do like a pan tilt, on the tripod without even looking at the screen. They could just kind of be looking straight at the talent. And I'm like, okay, I'm sold. Now it didn't work exactly the way I wanted to, but long story short of that is like once they showed it in a scenario that I valued, now I'm
Sure,
in.
yeah.
So, and that's, me as a cinematographer, that's a very unique thing not everybody would care about. But again, like there's this monitor, maybe we'll do a video on it too, this LG monitor that comes in a suitcase and rotates, has a battery built into it.
We haven't shown that yet.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah.
But that when a lot of people were like, who would want this? For tailgating, the monitor is not that bright. But I'm like, are you kidding me? A portable production monitor that rotates into portrait mode.
Yep.
Which a lot of times when we're trying to do vertical video is a pain in the butt to try and do that.
Or you have your
Built-in
client kind of like, oh, I can't. Yeah, no, I see it. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, for us it was like $1,000, which for the average consumer, a lot of money.
Yeah.
For a production company,
right?
No, that's a bargain. Built-in battery, everything. Yeah.
I mean, because we have a production monitor, we have a production cart. We rarely bring it out because it is
only for the big stuff.
For the big stuff.
Yeah.
For this, we've been shooting. We've been working on a project where we're producing like 26, 27 videos at different clients or different around the state, and having this where we can just bring in the suitcase, pop it out, and it's ready to go. Oh, again, that's a whole nother video. We'll get into that.
My point in that is like again for me, $1,000 for the versatility of that monitor.
Yeah.
Easy buy. But for the average consumer, it's a bit of a premium.
Sure.
So again, stacking that value into a product, into your messaging is important.
And I think you hit on something really special there is you never know what that UVP is going to be. You never know what it's going to be that really ticks that person over. So having those multiple, unique value, and you may think, like you said, you may think, oh, this is what everyone's going to care about. I guess maybe a production monitor. We had another client that was looking at a speaker belt. Like it was a belt buckle that was also a Bluetooth speaker. And they were looking at all the different ways that they could use it. And once we started brainstorming, I mean, they had golf, they had boating, but you look at hikers, you look at backpackers, construction workers. You start building it out, and now you really can kind of open up how you frame that UVP, and that will help determine your campaign. Maybe you don't focus on construction workers, but it takes you a few minutes to set up an opening hook that calls them out. And now you've opened up the door for even more market.
Exactly. So when building out the body, again, we'll do more videos about that process too. But so that's kind of constructing the main body of the ad. And again, that's its own long process that we go through. We put a lot of effort, obviously, into that as well. And then the final third part of the formula is the call to action. And again, the reason that we separate that into its own section is because for a couple of reasons. First of all, in the call to action is also typically where you're presenting the offer. So this is a great opportunity for you to test value stacks as well.
Yeah.
Another thing in the call to action is that's an area where you can potentially refresh the call to action depending on what you're trying to do. You might be running a promotion and you might get 20% off your next order. Sign up for our free ebook on how to use this product or something like that. So You can split test call to actions, of course. You might not get as wide of a range as you will in results versus the hook split test.
Sure.
But the call to action is a great place to split test. But it's also a great way to refresh the ad. Again, you can refresh your promotion. You might have a landing page that you send the customers to. You could try a variety of landing pages potentially to see what those are going to convert.
Yeah.
This landing page had a higher conversion rate as we did the split test. So we could see, all right, you're hearing me say split test a lot, but that's why it's so important.
Yeah.
When clients come to us and say like, all right, we want to do this campaign, we want to run these ads, and we want to get it. How soon can we get it up and going? And we kind of basically say we can get it up and going fairly quickly.
Yeah.
But if we have the time to run these split tests, it'll push back the main launch of the campaign further back. But then we are crafting what we know to be the best performing ad for you.
Right.
And the more that you can split test the thumbnail on the video. You can split test the heading, the call to action, the landing page it goes to, all these types of
description.
things.
Yeah.
So when it comes to call to action, then again, that's a great opportunity for you to test out different types of offers, different types of value stacks. Again, trying to focus on things that, and then you can also, try to funnel it into a different demographic too.
Yeah.
If you're, we talked about that belt company. If they're going after construction workers and then they're going after golfers, that's going to have different messaging.
Yeah.
And it's important to have that different messaging as, if you try to talk to everybody, you end up talking to nobody.
Right.
Everybody knows that. Yeah. But making sure that the call to action is really clearly calling out the people that are interested in. A lot of times, or especially in the hook, of course. But having that kind of that donut approach where it's like let the hook and the call to action kind of match each other, and make sure that you're calling out the person that's interested. A lot of times I see ads all the time. Are you an agency owner? Are you a video production company?
Yeah.
Would you like to have more clients? Would you like to have more retainers? They're calling us out because they know that in the feed the algorithm is saying this is who this person is, and that's the opening thing that I see in the video, and I might stick around going, oh yeah, I am.
Sure.
So what do you got? What are you offering?
All right, so Tony, now we kind of have all the different pieces. How do you cohesively bring that all together then? What does that look like?
Yeah, so again, when we sit down with the client, we'll go over, kind of approach it. These are the three different building blocks of the ad that we want to approach. We'll typically have multiple hooks that we plan on doing, and we'll have multiple, we'll have the single core body, but we might restructure elements in that as we see how things flow. And then the call to action, we may lead with multiple call to actions, or we may know down the road we might want to refresh the ad with an updated call to action. Mm-hmm. And so that's how we go into our script writing, into our concept development. We may do an ad that's just B-roll of a location with voiceover. We might have acting talent. Every ad is going to be uniquely different. We might lean into comedy. We might not. There's multiple ways to approach any of this kind of stuff. But that core formula really is just how we start to approach every type of ad campaign that we do specifically for social media. Now, how we run the ads, there's retargeting ads, there's omnipresent ad campaigns, there's all sorts of different ways that we run these ads, and then we'll talk about it in future episodes. So if you're not a subscriber, definitely stick around. But today we just wanted to go over that core formula and, kind of hopefully open your eyes to that if that's not something that you're approaching. Now that you know the formula, look for it. Next time you see an ad, start to see, are they doing this? Are they following this type of formula? And how are they doing it well, and what are ways that they could potentially, improve upon it? But I just really enjoy kind of the science of it. You know, I joke that as we start studying this stuff, it's like the Matrix, where
you see it everywhere.
All I see is redhead and brunettes, blonde. All I see are these different formulas and these different ways of approaching ads in everything that we do. And I love studying them. I love seeing what are people doing well. One of the companies that we follow is the Harmon Brothers, and they've done a great job of a lot of comedy ads, and they've really perfected this formula too. And so we've studied lots of different creators, different agencies, different just marketing companies to see, because the truth of the matter is, even though this formula is works incredibly well, still what are you selling? Are you selling a widget? Are you selling a $20,000 course? When you're running a different end of a gamut, there's going to be that we always talk about the different levels of customer journey. And so if you're expecting an ad that somebody has watched one time to convert somebody that's going to buy your $2,000 course, that's probably not going to happen.
Good luck.
Yeah. So you do need to have an expectation that this is going to need to run. People need to warm up to it. They need to be more familiar with it. They need to be having supporting material so that the one ad can't be expected to handle the entire weight of converting people. And again, we will talk about that all in future episodes.
Yeah, absolutely. But for now, thank you so much for watching. Feel free, like Tony said, subscribe, click like, leave any comments if you do have any questions about how we, our process, kind of how we write those, what that looks like. Again, we're going to be talking about that, but we'd love to hear your comments down below, and maybe we'll be featured in a future episode.
Absolutely. Thank
you so much.